All right, today we give our muscles another day of rest. It's Friday, so it's hip stretch day, and we're going to focus on our hips and do a lot of different stretches to open up those hips, loosen those hips, because as we get older, our hips, as you probably are well aware, can be a trouble spot. Over time, though, by doing this hip stretch once a week and then incorporating the hip stretches and so forth that we have in our everyday stretch at the end of each workout, you will find things get a lot better. Why? Because I did. My hips are incredibly tight, but by doing this sort of thing, again, once a week hip stretch and then a couple of hip stretches at the end of every workout, wow, a major, major difference. So you'll be amazed at how your hips feel and the movement that you'll get back, but over time. It's not going to happen in the first week. You got to give this time. Now, if you can't stretch completely as being demonstrated in the video, don't worry. Just do what you can and progress over time. As always, we incorporate a bit of cardio in this workout as well. Make sure you warm up, but there's no stretch at the end because the whole workout is stretching. So you will be done. You don't have to do the stretch at the end. So have a great hip stretch and go out and have an awesome day.
Welcome to the 7-day workout program with lifestyleover50.com. This is our warm-up, and each day we are going to warm up. So we start from the head and work our way all the way down to the toes. So first off, we're just going to rock our head forward and back. We're not going to jerk it and we're not going to stretch it too bad. We're just getting it to move, and then we're going to move our head around to the left and around to the right and just loosen up that neck. Then we're going to move into our shoulders, and we're going to just move our shoulders backward to get those shoulders loosened up. Go backward maybe 10 reps, and then you're going to go forward 10 reps. You're just trying to loosen up the top back muscles there and the shoulders and make movements that maybe you don't normally do in the course of a day, and these are really good for your joints and your muscles and your ligaments and so forth. Now you're going to move your arm forward. Just swing your arm forward. You're not trying to grind that shoulder joint. You're just trying to loosen it up. Just loosen it up, move it forward 10 and then back 10 on the right side. And then when you're done there, you're going to move to the left side. Now notice I've got one leg forward. My opposite leg is forward. So in this case, I'm doing my left arm, and what happens, my right foot is forward. Again, this is not to jerk that joint or injure it in any way. It's just to get some movement forward, get some movement back. Again, 10 on each side is sufficient. Now we're going to swing from side to side. Now, one thing when you're doing this, pay attention to my feet here. When I'm moving to the right, I move up my right toe or get up on my right toe. When I move to my left, I get up on my left toe. I'm not trying to jerk anything here. I'm trying to just loosen up my upper torso. Now we're going to move to the lower joints, so in the hips, and we're just going to rock back and forward, move around in a circle from the left to the right, just loosen up those hips a little bit, and once we're done moving around, we're going to go back and forth from left to right. And we just want to feel a little bit of a stretch there in the hips, not trying to do anything crazy here, just trying to loosen things up. Now this one might be a challenge, so you may want to use a chair to balance yourself. It took me a while to create the balance to be able to do this without starting to fall over and things like that. But basically you're lifting up your knee straight and then moving it outward. And here you're just trying to open up those hips. Just get those hips open a little bit, grease those hip joints. But again, be very careful until you have your balance down. Use a chair to be able to balance yourself. But this is great for getting those hips warmed up, especially if you're doing a leg workout or a run. Now we're just going to go down to the knees. See how we're going from top to bottom, from head to toe? So we're just going to Put our hands on our knees, bend our knees, and move around in a circle from the left to the right. And if you can get down as far as you possibly can and loosen up those knees. That's a joint that sometimes we all have a problem with as we get older, correct? And then the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to loosen up the ankles a little bit as well. So just get up on that left toe in this case, but make sure you're firmly planted on your right foot. Swing your left toe from side to side and do the other side. And that is your warm-up. Butt kicks are a great way to start a workout and a great way to increase cardio during a workout. Now you can start slowly like this, or you can pick up the pace. And you definitely want to get to the point where you are doing the butt kicks just like she's doing them right now for 30 or 45 seconds, depending on what the workout tells you. Today is all about loosening up the hips, taking a day off from strength training and working on flexibility, working on loosening joints up, especially our hip joints and muscles around the hips. So we're going to start out with a butterfly pose. So you simply sit straight up and you take your legs and your feet and you put them together in the middle and gently press down on your thighs to get a good stretch through the groin area, through those inner muscles and tendons that are run on the inside of your legs, and hold that pose for 30 seconds minimum. You can do longer if you like. Now we're going to move into the cross-legged stretch forward, and I've really come to enjoy this exercise, this pose, this stretch. And you'll find too that maybe the first couple of times you do a stretch, it's not going to be that enjoyable, but as you do it over time and you get more flexible, it will. So you're simply going to sit cross-legged and lean forward. Just simply lean forward as far as you can go. Maybe you can't go as far as this gentleman right here. That's fine. Over time, you'll find that your back, your lower back stretch, which is what you are working on here, will increase. And you're going to be able to maybe even put your elbows down on the ground, just like this gentleman. So hold it for 30 seconds or maybe longer. To loosen up the hips, we're going to do 10 to 12 squats. The first thing you want to make sure of is that you keep your core tight. You always want to keep your core tight throughout all exercises. Now this gentleman's holding his hands out in front. You can do that. Certainly you can put your hands on your hips. Right now you're just trying to loosen those hips up. If you find it difficult to get a full squat without becoming unstable and losing your balance, you can certainly use a chair. Just squat down to the chair and back up. So let's do 10, 12 repetitions of squats, get those hips loosened up, and we'll continue our stretch. This might be something new for you. It's called the Pigeon Pose. The Pigeon Pose, and it's really great for your hip flexors. Now you want to start out on one side or the other on your knees. In this case, bring your left leg forward. This is going to stretch your right hip flexor. And of course, if you want to try to get it out to a 45-degree angle, but I want to share with you, I can't. So I do it more like she was demonstrating just a second ago. If you can't even get that far out, then go ahead and put your leg underneath your hip and just stretch that way until you can get your leg out a little bit, and then eventually like this in a 45-degree angle, which I'm working on right now. So this is great, again, for your hips. Your hip flexors, make sure you're leaning straight forward and sitting straight up. This is a very simple stretch called the frog stretch. You're just going to get on the ground, spread your knees apart as wide as it feels good. Don't go too far initially. You're here to stretch those and eventually go further. And then as you do that, get on your elbows and lean forward. I like to rock back and forth a little bit from this position and just get those hip joints moving. Get that juice flowing in the hip joints, and then lean forward, and then maybe even eventually lean forward further to get a better stretch. The frog stretch. This is the star stretch, one of the best stretches you can do. And you may find, as I did when you first get started, that it's difficult to have, in this example, your right shoulder remain on the ground while you pull your right leg over your entire body and touch your toe on the other side. I couldn't do that initially, and I still have to work towards it when I'm doing this stretch. So you just want to lay down with your arms to your side, pull one leg over to the other side opposite of your body and touch your toe and hold that for 30 seconds, and then do the other side. Now we're going to work on stretching the largest muscle of our body, the glutes. So we're going to take our right leg in this case, put it over our left knee, and just gently hold in place our leg in that area. And that is going to give that a nice stretch. And then you're going to repeat it on the other leg. Very simple exercise, but a very good stretch for the largest muscle in our body, the glute stretch. We're going to work on our hip flexors just a little bit more. So you're going to start on your knee, bring one leg forward, and lean towards that leg. So the more you lean forward, the more of a stretch in the other hip flex you're going to get. So in this case, her left leg is forward. She's stretching the right hip flexor. Again, the more she leans forward, the more of a stretch in that hip flexor. It's a great exercise. All right, well, you've completed the first round of stretching. Take a little bit of a break, stand up, shake it off, get some water, and come back and do a second round of stretching. And then you're done because you've already done your stretching for the day. What a great week it's been so far. Tomorrow, you're going to do a little walk run, and then on Sunday, back to bike riding. What a great week. What a great thing that you've done for yourself this week. Have yourself a great day.